Good morning, I'm Beth. I'm one of the teachers for the 2s and 3s class. Thanks for volunteering. We're happy you're going to be here with our kids. I'm here today just to show you a few things that we do in class, kind of give you an overview of the schedule and show you where things are at in our classroom. So first off, when class starts, we usually play for the first 20-25 minutes just to let the kids coming in late get a little bit of playtime. If a student is new, we introduce them to other students. They may need some time to settle in and be comforted if they're sad about leaving mom and dad for a bit. So the first 20-25 minutes of class is playtime, and I'll show you where our toys are located. Over here on this side of the class, we have our toy closet. And each of these bins has a different activity in them. We usually just give the kids free rein to tell us what they want to have pulled out. Kids are interested in cars, some are interested in the play animals. So feel free to get as much as you want out. And we just kind of divide the bins up around the classroom so that the kids are spread out during playtime. So after the first 25 minutes or so, we'll do a cleanup time, and all of the kids, we just encourage them to help clean up. They all have a part in putting the stuff back in the closet. And so after playtime, then we gather over on the carpet for worship time. Usually we sing 3 to 5 songs for worship, depending on our group. They sometimes have requests, and we'll have a playlist up here on the wall for you to select the songs from. A lot of our student helpers know all of the songs, so they can take the lead during that time if you're not familiar with the songs. But we have some basics, like if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, This Little Light of Mine. So there's plenty of songs to choose from. Feel free to pick whatever you want, and let the students choose if they have any opinions on what we're singing for worship that day. After worship, we sit down and we have our story time. So if you're volunteering, you'll be given, and you're in charge of teaching, you'll be given our lesson plan for that Sunday. It has a brief description of activities that we have lined up for the day. You're welcome to pick and choose what you want to do. Sometimes the age range in our class will determine what activity is best for that morning. Since we are a class of 2s and 3s, we have the new 2s that have just turned 2, and we also have the 3s that are about to turn 4. So it is kind of a wide range as far as who can sit still for story time, who is able to do certain crafts. So feel free to make it your own. Each Sunday, we kind of decide, once we have our class together, what we'll be able to do. Once you do the story time, which ranges usually anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes with this age group, we move on to snack time. So we'll pray after story, and then we move over to the tables for snack time. And that's usually a good opportunity to go over what we learned in the story. You can just ask questions or just kind of highlight the points of the story for the day. And after snack time, we'll move on to coloring. Every Sunday, they'll have a coloring sheet that they can complete. There's an activity page on the other side of that sheet. So we'll just do a coloring time, craft. If there's a craft for the day, we'll get that out at that time while they're still at the table. And after that, if we still have time left before service is out, we'll let them get the toys back out. We can sing some more songs. It's just kind of a free time once the craft is complete. So when it's story time, after we've completed worship, we're here at the carpet, and we just have them sit in a circle facing this way towards the cross. And we'll tell them the Bible story. It's best, if possible, just to read through the story a couple of times before you come to class. Once you're in class, it's difficult to focus and read through the story, but if at all possible, if you can prepare a little bit before class and just read through the story, maybe a few days before or a couple of days before, and then the morning of, it'll help you tell the story rather than just read it. They tend to get lost if you're just reading from the lesson. So if you can just tell them, the more animated, the better. They just love getting involved in the story, so you can have them repeat things, have them make hand motions, that sort of thing. The kids will really love it. And I would expect no more than probably 2 to 5 minutes for the story. It's super easy, and it's fun to be able to share God's word with them and get them excited about it and really kind of insert them into the story and say, how would you feel if you had, seen Jesus coming down from the sky? And they're always excited to answer those questions. So once story time is complete, we'll pray before snack time, and we'll move over to the snack table and serve them snacks. So each Sunday in class, we're going to have 2 adults and then anywhere from 2 to 4 student helpers. Feel free to use our student helpers. They're a great help. Most of them have been in the class for months to years, so they're very familiar with where everything's located, the schedule, the worship songs. Feel free to utilize them. They're happy to be used and excited to help. So I'll just show you where a few things are located. Other than our toy closet, we have these cupboards that we have a prize box. The student helpers can help deliver prizes at the end of class. We usually have a basic Bible verse that the kids can say, and we'll give out the prize for that. We have bubbles up here in this first cupboard. We have wipes for our snack time, just to clean their hands before we pass out the snacks. So those are up here in this cupboard. And the snack will always be sitting out on the cupboard or out on the counter. So you'll have the snack here. The second cupboard, we have the kids' Bibles. A lot of times for story time, we just like to have them hold the Bible, whether they're looking at the specific story for that week or not. It doesn't really matter. We just like them to hold God's word so they know that those stories are coming from God's word. They're true, they're real. And so we'll pass those out each Sunday. And then over here, we have color crayons, teacher's supplies, tape, glue sticks, all that sort of thing. For the most part, everything that's relating to the craft for that Sunday will be sitting out here on the counter. So when you walk into class, you'll have a bin that has all of the activities that you can choose from for craft that Sunday. And like I said, you're welcome to pick and choose what you want to do depending on the age of the class that you have that Sunday. Down here below, we have more toys, blocks, trucks, and our music instruments are in this last cupboard here. And the student helpers can help distribute those for worship. If you want to get the instruments out for worship, we have little pianos, guitars, drums, that sort of thing. And the kids really love playing with those during worship. So I think that about does it for our classroom setup. Everything you need will be within these cupboards or out on the counter. So when our students come to class, we like to have one adult at the door that's kind of taking the students in. A lot of them have been here for the last 2 years and they're ready to move up to preschool, so they'll march right in. Some of them may be a little sad. We like to have one adult here and the other adult just kind of overseeing the playtime that's happening as students come in. But it's important to greet the parents, greet the student, help them into the toy play area. And then as the students come in, we check them off on this list. Every regular student will be on this list. There is a 9 a.m. class and an 11 a.m. class that's printed out. And those are the students that most regularly attend that particular class. So you'll just check them off. And this is important to do in case we have a fire alarm go off or something like that. We'll line the students up here and we'll take the checklist out with us just so that we can be sure that we have every last kid that's been checked into class that day. We'll also write their name up on this whiteboard here. And it's just a quick view. As they check out, we can just erase their name. If we do have a new student and the parent has brought them to class, we just remind them that in order to pick them up, they're gonna need their matching tag to pick up their child after church. And so once they come back and pick them up after church, we'll just cross off their name off this list on the whiteboard. So student helpers are great at doing this. They love doing the check-in and writing the names on the board, so feel free to pass that task off. So that about wraps it up for our Sunday school. I think the most important thing to know is that the class time is yours to do with what you want. So if you find a better schedule, or if you feel like the kids are too wiggly to sit down for story time yet, feel free to play a game or do something else that fits better with your class dynamic. And as far as the story goes, feel free to make it your own. The kids respond really well to to repeating things that you say, or making like hand motions that go along with the story. So really feel free to make it your own, and the kids will absorb whatever you put out there. They are very excited to sit down for story time, but may not last more than 2 to 5 minutes. So whatever they glean is great. All right, thank you for listening, and we are so appreciative that you're volunteering in our 2s and 3s class.